This was quite an interesting movie. I'm not sure I really enjoyed it. In the Lost Land is an epic fantasy adventure brought to life by director Paul Anderson with a screenplay by Konstantin Werner, both of whom had a hand in crafting the story. Based on George Martin's short story of the same name. The film stars Milla Jovovich as a powerful witch and Dave Bautista as a hardened hunter. Together, they embark on a perilous journey through a treacherous, otherworldly landscape to track down a mysterious artifact for a queen, because, obviously, no great fantasy quest starts with a simple errand. A queen longing for love and willing to risk everything makes a bold move. She enlists the infamous witch Grey Alice to venture into Lost Lands and secure a magical gift, the power to become a werewolf. Accompanied by the enigmatic hunter boys, she proves invaluable against the horrors lurking in the shadows. Grey Alice traverses a treacherous otherworldly realm filled with ruthless foes and dark creatures. But there's a catch. Every wish she grants comes with a price, and only she knows just how steep the consequences can be. This was quite an interesting movie. I really love fantasy and enjoy it a lot. This genre can be forgiven many things, from plot holes to character appearances to even not so good graphics, but I'm not sure I really enjoyed it. Starting from the atmosphere it's trying to create, and it fails. The movie looks cheap, and that is what ruins the perception in the first place. The graphics is definitely the weakest spot, as well as CGI backgrounds. What catches the eye is the creative decision of distorted lights throughout the movie, but it's so clearly the way to hide cheap and not detailed backgrounds. I can almost see the green or blue chroma key screens behind the actors, and I just feel like I'm watching a non-finished piece of work. The plot is not bad. I was thinking that I would read this book because it feels that there's much more to it than it's been shown on the screen. The 6 episodes division or 6 days until the full moon makes it a good limited series. That's actually a second movie this season that I'm suggesting to do it. The first one was Mickey 17. Because of this feature, the movie feels fragmented, connected but not quite. I mean, we're talking about the movie based on the story by George Martin. It's no surprise it feels like Game of Thrones in a sense. The other thing that was probably intentional but felt off is the isolated locations and their portrayal on the screen. You see the city and other locations are placed in the middle of the frame and blurred on the edges, which is called to point the viewer's attention to the object, but at the same time it's called to hide CGI budget cuts, and again makes the story feel isolated. We're talking about post-apocalyptic world, and the idea itself is really nice. We've seen many anti-utopian post-apocalyptic worlds, from sci-fi to steampunk, etc., and the idea of the modern world ending at the rise of monarchy and theocracy makes you think that people would rather fall to the less developed form of government than building something sustainable and new. Anyways, the idea itself is worth developing, but the execution is on the mid-level. The acting. I mean, I like Milla Jovovich. She's a great actress with huge experience in fantasy and fantastic movies. Her character is just pretty boxed with not so much place for acting performance, but she excels in it anyways, no questions here. Dave Bautista plays his usual character. This one definitely has more place to show the craft. Nevertheless, the opening scene is just bluntly bad. I mean, it feels like he just falls out of the character a couple of times or forgets the line. Other than that, it was merely his usual performance. Everyone else, they felt off. It brings me back to the thought that this movie wasn't finished or wasn't really cared about. Or the characters are just one-dimensional, strictly the archetype and only one. I need to read the book to understand more what's going on there. And that is another problem. It shouldn't be like that. Those are separate forms of art, and it's not even the book, but a short story. No surprise it feels like a fairy tale, because it's built like that. It's just one-timer. If you like fantasy and really want to watch something, sure, go ahead. It's not like there's much choice right now. Other than that, it's a pretty mediocre movie. Not trashy, but definitely not a masterpiece. Watch only good movies, those which take you to the other amazing worlds.
don't have many friends.
Me neither.